would like to introduce Barbara Lamb. She's going to be our speaker today and hopefully enlighten all of us. How many people in this room are already using something? Okay, so that gives you a little bit of an idea. But a lot of us are people are using it without a lot of the knowledge. So Barbara's an RN, she is a product distributor, an educator for CBD. She is an independent home health pain management nurse and has helped a lot of people along the way with improving quality of life by using cannabis as opposed to other narcotics. And she's going to give you a little bit of her history, having served in the Air Force, and then going back to nursing after that, and how this all happened and how this all came to be. And we will have a little bit of time for questions after. So thank you, Barbara. Welcome.
Thank you. I am Barbara Lamb. I'm a registered nurse, and towards the end of my nursing career, I developed a latex allergy and also rubber fumes allergy, which means my body reacts to, the fumes from rubbers like a perfume, except my body goes into an anaphylactic shock reaction, where I've actually had to use an EpiPen and Benadryl, etc., to save my life. So that's why I don't work in the hospitals anymore, and I've redeveloped myself, and now I am a CBD distributor and educator. I do help folks to wean themselves off of opiates successfully. And so now here we are, and I'm going to help you guys hopefully understand a little bit more about cannabis, the healthy, not high aspect of it, the CBD component itself. We're going to go into a little bit of the history. It actually dates back thousands and thousands of years ago. Over 8,000 years ago, they found Stone Age images in the northern parts of Asia, and then it was actually spread through the northern regions of Asia, in that region, and throughout the world, the cannabis plant itself. And so, and it was used as an incense and an intoxicant during the biblical times. And in the Aramaic translation of the Old Testament of the Bible, it actually says that, and it says that it was part of the holy oil that was channeled to Moses. And in that holy oil, it contained myrrh, sweet cinnamon, and cannabis. So that's their translation of the Old Testament, the Arabic translation. So there's some proof, in that translation. The spirituality of the plant has been used in different societies because of the euphoric feeling, and also there's the sense of it takes a person to the consciousness and powerful mystical transformation, and where it takes the person into a spiritual realm, almost like within their own body, and then also the sense of orgasm. During that particular usage, it was believed to receive a similar sense of spiritual bliss. So it has been used throughout the world in different regions for different things, such as medicine, the spirituality of it, etc. As evolution and science evolves, they've actually uncovered a system within our body that makes cannabinoids and uses cannabinoids from plants. And some of the cannabinoids from cannabis are actually the CBD and the THC and the different components. And we'll be talking about that also. The endocannabinoid system, this little illustration here, shows that you are speckled throughout your entire body of the endocannabinoid system itself. Different ones affect the body a different way. There's CBD1, which affects the mind and the spinal area. Then there's CBD2 that affects the rest of the body, the gut, and primarily. And then we'll go into the different terpenes, which are from the different plants, and what happens with that also. I also like to introduce this little plant right here. This is a cannabis plant. This particular species, one of over 170 different types of species of cannabis, this particular species is called Swiss Dream CBD. Under the U.S. classification, because it only has 0.22% of THC and a high percentage of CBD, 7%, it would be classified as an industrial hemp plant. Okay, so you would actually use this to make your CBD products. And we'll go into that more as we go further into this lecture. There are receptors in our body, like I said, the CBD1 and the CBD2, that when a cannabinoid from a plant comes in contact, that is the key. On the cell wall are the receptors called locks. And so when you have a key that comes into the touch with the lock, it should open. But because some of us drink wine or are other medications that interfere with that lock and key system. And so some people will ask me, well, why doesn't it work? Well, did you drink any alcohol before you even took the CBD? Did you take any other medications before you took your CBD? So that's one of the things we'll also discuss, okay? The discovery of the endocannabinoid system, it is something that's been discovered way back in the early 60s and is still ongoing today. They've made strides as far as trying to improve synthetic forms of cannabinoids, but they're not really successful at treating some of the ailments as a natural, organic form of CBD from natural cannabis. The THC part of the cannabis plant is the psychoactive material. It gets you high. My focus with my patients and my clients is the CBD products. I strive to help them through weaning off of the opiates, narco, gabapentin, etc. That's a long, drawn-out process because I don't want them to go through the withdrawals that can happen if all of a sudden you stop the opiates. So I'll go into that a little further too, because that's very important to understand, that you just cannot stop one drug and go on to another, because you could go into withdrawals, which is not a good thing to do either. But cannabinol, like I said, is from the cannabis plant. There's a particular one, like I said, CBD, and that's cannabidiol. It is a non-intoxicating compound that alleviates anxiety, pain, inflammation, and countless other medical conditions. The Department of Agriculture, Natural Resources Conservation actually says that there's over 170 species of cannabis. There's different cannabis groups. Indica, which is a high THC containing cannabis plant, and very low, if non-existent CBD plant. Then there's the sativas that have THC, but they can also have the CBD in different ratios depending on the species. And then there's the hybrids that are in the combination of the two. Like this particular plant is a sativa plant, and it is high in CBD, an extremely low, minute amount of THC. So in the plants, they have terpenes. Terpenes is the flavor and the aroma of the plant. such as pepper. Black pepper actually has terpenes, and they have different effects on the plant, on you as an individual. It is an anti-inflammatory, analgesic, anti-spasmodic, and a sleep aid, and that's pepper. And then there's different terpenes: spice, rose, sweet, wood, earth, citrus, lemon, pine, musk, sharp, herbal, and floral. All of those different terpenes, which is just like the aromatherapy and the taste of a plant, those have all different effects on your endocannabinoid system. And they affect you in different ways. A lot of the products that are made from industrial hemp plants are made from the oils of that plant. And there's different types of oils. Some manufacturers are using hemp seed oil and calling it CBD by adding a minute amount of CBD to their product. Hemp seeds don't have any CBD in them. You won't find it there. It has a lot of omegas, it has wonderful amount of vitamin E and protein. That's why it's important when you do obtain products that you check to see how much CBD is in it. You see if it's from hemp extract, and hemp extract is actually from the entire plant. The stem, the leaves, and sometimes the flowers themselves. So you want to make sure that you get a pure form of hemp extract oil in your products. As a consumer, you have every right to know what's in there. If they don't tell you, don't buy the product. Because that's something they just don't want to tell you. They don't, they're not true to their word. Cannabis oil is from, majority of the time, from marijuana, which contains the THC. Okay, that's why I strive for the hemp extract products. And that's the products that I personally sell and distribute to my clients and patients and help them. The U.S. Agricultural Farm Act of 2014 actually assisted a lot of farmers to work with the universities to grow hemp plants. And in 2017, the hemp crop report, there was over 23,000 acres throughout the country that grew hemp for the study and manufacturing of hemp extract products. A hemp farmer once said, a mediocre hemp crop yield is far better on a return than a tobacco crop. It's an excellent replacement for tobacco, and we're happy to be growing that crop, the hemp plant itself, which helps people instead of harm them. And that's from a hemp farmer. The worldview of CBD is becoming more and more acceptable throughout the different countries. The DEA just this month of September reclassified CBD as from a Schedule 1 down to a Schedule 5, which will now be prescribed by the doctors if it's FDA approved, in which GW Pharmaceuticals has made a product. But that product can only be prescribed to patients with only 2 types of epilepsy. It's going to be widespread before long, and the production of CBD products is going to be astronomical because the public demands a replacement for their narcotics and other medications that are doing more harm than good. There's too many products out there, too much medication that has too many side effects. The side effects of CBD, I haven't seen any. Myself, I haven't experienced any. I use CBD on a daily basis. I have arthritis in my lower back, stenosis, and numbing in my feet. It has actually reversed the numbing in my feet. Also, it's a vasodilator, so I don't have to worry about my heart. I'm 57 years old and I don't worry about my heart because I take CBD every day. I take it in a liquid tincture form under my tongue. I do the topical lotion on my back, and that's what I use. And occasionally, I use a vape cartridge pen for anxiety or panic attacks whenever I see like a latex particle or something like that. It'll flare up like a post-traumatic stress disorder. So, but yeah, the possibilities of CBD are endless. It all is individualized according to your metabolism, your condition, or disease process. So when somebody says, oh, this worked for me in this amount, that amount may not work for you. You have to adjust it to you. We are not all, let me put you in a box, give you 2 aspirin and call me in the morning society anymore. We have evolved. We want something better than what we've been given. We're more educated. The technology out there is expanding in leaps and bounds. As a society, we do deserve better. So the CBD products, they're excellent for pain relief, reduces inflammation, reduces nausea and vomiting. It's also antipsychotic. I've actually got a client who uses the CBD tincture for her bipolar disorder, and it works for her. It also works for depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, from personal experience. It's an anti-emetic. It reduces seizures, and that's been proven too. Reduces muscle spasms, aids with Parkinson's. I have a client that took her CBD tincture, and she takes it, puts it on a little cookie, takes her time eating it, and within 1 hour she says, I'm not shaking anymore. And her hands don't shake, which is, to me, is a miracle. It works on psoriasis. It's an anti-ischemic by lowering your blood pressure. It also helps reduce the diabetics, sugars. It aids with the metabolism. And it also helps with cancer cells and blocking the formation of new ones. In the way of cancer cells, they have actually demonstrated under high magnitude magnification, where they have injected CBD into a cancer cell and actually watched that cancer cell shrink and die. What it does is the CBD balances the cell and reprograms it to go back into its normal cycle, just like a red blood cell. Our red blood cells only live 28 days. That's why we are continually making new red blood cells. Every cell in our body is programmed to live a certain stage. Cancer cells forget what their stage is in the life and death cycle. CBD reprograms that cancer cell back towards normal balance, back into its normal life cycle. And that's already been proven by science and research and medical professions throughout the world. As far as abuse or the potential for abuse on CBD, the World Health Organization actually came out this year with a statement that says there is no abuse potential or public health risk. They have collaborated with all of the research throughout all the different countries and came up with that conclusion. And I would trust the World Health Organization over a lot of other organizations and government agencies because they are nonpartisan. So, CBD is the product that I use. I use a 95 milligram per mil dosage and I will titrate that according to how I feel for the day. Whenever the barometric pressure rises, my back will flare up, and I will use extra through the day, and that does help. When I'm anxious, I use a little extra. It's just how you feel, your condition, and your prognosis, and your diagnosis. So that's what I have today, and if there's any questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the explanation for it being placed under the tongue as opposed to in something, on something, just swallowed, whatever?
Because when you place it in your mouth and you leave it there for a few seconds, there are so many capillaries that it has a chance to get into the bloodstream, because if you eat it and ingest it, it has to be digested, absorbed into this large intestinal tract, and then goes to the liver and is processed there. It takes a longer time to be processed, whereas under the tongue, it gets into your bloodstream faster, quicker, and a higher concentration. Yes?
What are the type of, excuse me, medications that interfere with CBD, aside from obviously the opioids?
Alcohol. If your liver is busy metabolizing alcohol, it's going to block CBD. Even the National Institute of Cancer Society did a research as to when to add CBD to the regime of chemotherapy, and they discovered that it's better to have CBD work with the chemotherapy drugs, such as you do the chemotherapy at 1 hour, and then an hour afterwards is when you add the CBD. That way, within the blood system, they collaborate together as a catalyst, and they are enhancing each other and working together to rid of the cancer cells. I know some folks use just CBD through a Rick Simpson oil, which is a high concentration of the plant extracts themselves. So yeah, some chemotherapy is best given and then 1 hour afterwards, and then, like I said, some folks would rather just do the Rick Simpson oil.
Do you have to have a prescription by a doctor?
No, no.
Because it's legal.
It is. CBD from industrial hemp is legal throughout all 50 states, but it has to be from industrial hemp. If it's made from medical marijuana, it's not.
You just have to know what kind is good for what you want to treat.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I know this is not an inexpensive product, and you said that not all the products will work for all the people. You have to kind of figure out which one will work for you, which is, how do you know what to buy?
Look for the product that says high CBD hemp extract.
Okay,
That's the product you
but
want.
that's not what I meant. I mean, there's the drops, there's cream, there's balm. I mean, how do you know what to buy?
The drops is pretty much for your systemic, all body, okay?
Okay.
So yes, the under the tongue drops is for your entire systemic body, for your entire,
Okay.
okay? The lotion
Uh-huh.
is topical for that area only.
Okay, now I tried the lotion, didn't do anything. I tried the balm, it was wonderful. So I don't know how you would determine, for me,
It just depends on how many milligrams per milliliter
I see,
the
okay.
CBD is within that lotion.
Okay,
Because if that lotion said hemp oil, that might have been hemp seed oil, and they might have added a drop
gotcha.
in a bucket full
I
of
see.
lotion.
Okay, so basically they would be the same if they're made with the same ingredients.
They should be, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
exactly.
Does this, I had a client who had this problem, will this show up on a drug test?
The products that I sell with the company that I work with has 0 THC, meaning that the industrial hemp that has the 0.3 THC, that has been processed out. And we actually have an affidavit from that company stating that it is 0 THC. And we have the laboratory results stating that it is non-detected. And it is in compliance with the California laws.
So I was wondering, on these tests and stuff that you talked about, were they proven all the stuff, are they all listed here in your, I can look them up by looking at your
What test?
Well, you said things, I mean, you were saying things like, whatever you were saying, when things weren't shown not to be, for example, what you just said, shown not to be coming up in tests and such. That's one example, but I know you said some other things too, but I was wondering where I could verify that. Is that, this says who, they reference who in the FDA, that's where I would be able to look up these testing results?
It just depends on the company that you buy from. A lot of the dispensaries, they may or may not have the test results. I do have the test results of these products.
Okay, so they would be though, under the WHO or the FDA, according to this apparently?
No, you're not going to find it underneath the WHO, World Health Organization.
So where would I find it? I just find it from the company itself?
Yes, they should be able to supply it.
Um,
If they can't show you the test results, laboratory results of their products, then they need to get it and
Well,
prove.
I mean, I'm just asking you where I get them, because you said, well, they and this, and they showed this, and they found out this, and they, whoever these people were, whoever it was.
And then
I'm just
the
looking,
reference.
I can look it up myself, I can,
Yeah.
look it up myself if I know where to look. So I was just wondering, that's in here,
In the reference areas,
any of those tests?
yeah.
We've got some paragraph back here too that mentions the FDA and who. I thought maybe the NIH, but I don't see that here either. But I was just wondering where those results are.
The individual distributor
Yeah, the
or the
testing,
store
the
would be
testing.
able to show, should be able to show their products.
And they're the ones who did the testing?
The company who makes the products can actually send the distributor the lab results.
Okay.
I think she's asking if someone independent from the companies, like the FDA or someone else, also reviews what they say so that you have someone else sort of independent who doesn't get a profit from this
Yeah,
product.
that's why, you know, these products
Mhm.
are independently third-party laboratory tested. That's what you want to ask. Are these products third-party, independently laboratory tested? That's what you want to ask. When you
Yeah,
go
I
to a
looked it up. Where
store,
would I look it up? It would be somewhere, it would be some independent, it would be something independent, like a governmental agency or something, I would expect.
well, like Steep Hill Laboratories, they're one of the laboratories here in California that test our products. And then they have actually shipped some products to make sure that they are California compliance with the laboratory results. Along with SC Labs have actually tested our products, and they have shown that it's 0%.
SC Labs?
And Steep Hill Laboratories,
Oh, what is it? SD?
SC Labs, and then Steep Hill Laboratories.
There's a question over here.
Yes, sir.
Are your suppliers, the manufacturers, all using domestic ingredients?
Yes.
Is anything coming in from
Thailand
Asia?
or China, no. Our products are 100% non-GMO, organically grown industrial hemp here in the United States. And that is proven and tested and everything, yes. I've been using these products since January of last year, and because they work for me, and because of my problem with the latex allergies, I couldn't go back to work, so this is what I'm doing. I figure if I can, you know, if these products are good for me, then they'll be good for my clients and my patients.
Are you seeing any use in kids for sleep?
There is a couple that helps their child at night sleep by giving him a few drops. And he also uses it for his ADHD. And there's marked improvement in his schooling.
Very good.
but that's up to the parents.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
You get a lot of patients coming to you with neuropathy situations.
Neuropathy? Yes. I myself have neuropathy, and this is what I use to treat it, and it works. I can take my shoes off, and I can tell you if your floors are clean or dirty.
That's not good.
Yes, sir.
Does your products have the contents
Yes,
labeled on the bottle? I mean, the amount of milligrams
yes,
of CBD oil
yes.
or milligrams or,
It's milligrams per mil.
yeah.
Example, this is 5 milligrams per mil, and it's a 10 ml bottle, meaning that there is a 5 milligrams in each mil, meaning that there's 50 milligrams of CBD in this lotion.
In the whole bottle.
And that the tinctures actually do say how many milligrams per mil. 95 milligrams per mil, like in a 10 ml bottle is 950 milligrams. In a 30 ml bottle, 2,850 milligrams of CBD from industrial hemp extract.
So you want that 95?
Yeah, you want the higher amount because you can take it with a few drops or you can take it a little bit more. You cannot overdose on CBD and there's no abuse potential.
Thank you so much.
So, with that, I'd like to give out everybody's free product. This is a topical lotion.